Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
5 children of a woman who was shot and paralysed by police in 1985 are to receive substantial damages in compensation. Scotland Yard failed to get the case dismissed on the grounds the claims fell outside the time limits. A High Court judge declared the police still had a duty of care to the children 31 years after the botched armed raid on Cherry Groce's home in Brixton. Our senior Home Affairs correspondent Simon Israel has this exclusive report.
The final chapter is nearing its end in a long fight for justice for the children in this photo taken 31 years ago at the hospital bedside of their mother. Cherry Groce was shot and paralysed when police raided her home looking for one of her sons suspected of armed robbery, but he wasn't even there. Lee, her other son, and his 3 sisters were in the house. He was just 11 when he witnessed police kick down the bedroom door and opened fire at his mother. Time has not healed their trauma, and last week the courts acknowledged what they had all been through and ordered the police to finally compensate.
The only choice we had was, do we let it go, or do we stand up for what is true and what is right? And they deserve to be accountable for what had happened to us. What we went through was real, and we were children in that house at the time that was exposed, that witnessed a traumatic experience which then had a profound effect on our lives.
Their mother got £500,000 compensation in 1993 for spending the rest of her life in a wheelchair. It was an out-of-court settlement. The children got nothing. They had no lawyer to argue their case. The Met at the time did not admit liability, but now, 31 years on, in the High Court, the force has had to put its hands up and acknowledge they had and still have a duty of care. An inquest jury in 2014 found serious and multiple failures in that armed operation. The shooting of Cherry Groce prompted one of the most profuse apologies a police chief has ever publicly delivered.
Today, I apologise unreservedly for our failings. I also apologise for the inexcusable fact that it's taken until now for the Met to make that public apology.
Yet 2 years on, the police's own lawyers told a High Court judge last week that the children's claim for compensation was, I quote, an unfair and contentious attempt to gain yet again from the shooting.
Throughout this whole process, all we've been asking for is to be dealt with fairly. Throughout this whole process, we've maintained our dignity and our integrity.
How do you think you've been dealt with? How do you think you've been treated?
Very unfairly. And I think that's putting it mildly.
The Metropolitan Police told Channel 4 News, "We sought to agree a settlement with family members prior to court proceedings being brought, but unfortunately this was not possible. All parties will now seek to agree a settlement of the revised claim." 3 years ago, the family couldn't even get legal aid. Now the police will have to pay another price for their mistaken shooting of an innocent mother.
Simon Israel reporting.